So like I mentioned in the filter room, one of the things that we have to do is test the pool manually. Even though we have a computer in there that regulates how much chlorine or acid is pumped into the water, we still have to test the pool legally 3 times a day and submit that sheet to the health department every single month. So testing is relatively routine. The idea is you want to get a decent water sample. So we don't want to skim a sample directly off of the surface because that may provide a negative sample where we have gassed off some of the chlorine. So we want to go elbow deep with our test tube, making sure that the test tube is upside down. Once you get elbow deep in the water, you can turn your test tube right side up, fill it right up with the water. So what we're looking for a chlorine test is 5 milliliters with your test tube. So I'll go upside down, elbow deep, flip that test tube right over, and obviously we filled the whole tube up. So at this point, all we're going to do is just flick the water out until we get to our 5 milliliters. From there, we're going to take a test tab. And these test tabs are called DPD tabs, and all we do is pop it right in. Now, ideally, when you're taking a test, you're not putting your finger on top of the sample to tip it up and down because it will negatively impact the test. However, for your purposes, since you don't have a cap, 1 or 2 times is fine to tip it upside down 1 or 2 times. And then from there, we will take our slide and we'll match up the color of the test tube with the color on the slide. And we do that by holding it up to a blank piece of paper. And from there, we can take the color of our tube and match it up appropriately. Right now, I'm looking at close to about a 1.5 part per million with the chlorine. Legally, in New York State, chlorine needs to be at between 1.0 and 5.0. Ideally, we like it around the 3.0 parts per million. Our next test is going to be our pH test. So we'll take that sample that we just did, we'll dump it into the pool, rinse the tube out a couple of times. Once again, elbow deep, all the way down. Fill the tube right up. Now for the pH sample, one of the things that we want to do is instead of 5 milliliters, we're going to go with 10 milliliters. So we can flick just a little bit out of the water, out of the tube, get our 10 milliliters. We take a phenol red tab for our pH and we pop it in. Now the pH is actually the more important reading versus the chlorine level. The pH level, if you have a safe and healthy pH, your skin is going to be less irritated, your eyes are going to be less irritated. A lot of times we complain about our eyes bothering us because the chlorine is so high, and that's not necessarily accurate. If the pH is varied on a very high level or a very low level from our ideal level, that's when you start getting the pain in your eyes or on your skin. So, what is our ideal level? Legally in New York State, you can have a pH level between 7.2 and 8.0. But if you take the natural pH of your eyes, which is 7.5, an ideal level for a swimming pool is between 7.4 and 7.6. Any variance of that 7.4 to 7.6 past those 2 numbers will cause your eyes to burn or your skin to itch. So at our pool, we take pride in the fact that our pH is always at a very nice level, and you can see that our pH currently is at about a 7.5, which is absolutely ideal. That is the more important number.